If you're a beginner, then here's a way to stretch your full body anytime and pretty much anywhere you need to. First off, please keep in mind, I'm not a personal trainer, I'm not a physical therapist, and I'm definitely not a yoga instructor. And any stretches I'm advising you to do are based on ones I've had to do myself. So I'm going to walk you through a routine that'll take you from your wrist to your neck, and then your neck down. Now with all these stretches, I need you to remember to take things slow and to use deep breaths. I start with a forward lean, and with this I'm trying to keep my wrist and fingertips flat on the ground and take my shoulders as far forward as possible, then lean back to a neutral position and do the same thing again. I'm then turning my hands outward 90 degrees and rotating my shoulders from side to side, trying to fully turn my shoulder to that 90-degree rotation on both sides, but still keeping it safe and slow and keeping my wrist and fingertips on the ground. Now this next one is definitely optional for the routine because some of you might find it worrisome, but you're essentially just flipping your hands over and going into a backward lean, dropping your hips as low as you can in a safe range of motion. Now you should feel each of those stretches in your wrist and your forearms, but if you need another one, then ball your fist up and go into another forward lean. And while you're in this position, try to relax your wrist as much as possible to get a deeper stretch. Now if you did feel the need to stretch your biceps, then those stretches should do you justice, but if you want a bit of a deeper one, then I'd sit in a backward lean and hold it at a comfortable position. For your triceps, you're going to need a chair or some type of elevated surface. Once you've placed your elbows on top of it, simply drop down to a comfortable position and hold that. I take my shoulders through a sequence of overhead and across body stretches that I always try to touch the middle of my back with. You might be surprised, but I find that neck stretches happen to be the best at alleviating any pressure I have in my traps. So I take mine through a pulling motion that goes from side to side, and then lean forwards, grabbing the back of my head instead of the side to do the same thing diagonally. And I recently found out that taking your neck through a 360-degree motion can potentially be harmful. So if you're doing that, stop it. For my lats, I'm doing the same stretch I was doing for my triceps, but sitting further back to put more emphasis on actually stretching out my lats. And I think the simplest stretch we can do for our back is to just hug ourselves as widely as possible, as far as you can reach. And by clasping your hands behind you, you'll pretty much do the opposite to stretch out your chest. To stretch your quads, it's wise to make sure you have protection under your knee. And after leaning against a wall or a couch, try to sit up straight. Trust me, you might not get as far as you think you can. But once you get to a comfortable position, hold that. Take deep breaths. And for my hamstrings, I try to keep things simple with a regular floor stretch. If you can't do one yet, you can start by practicing with a straight back and doing this at least twice a day to see good progress over time. To get a really good stretch in my glutes, I like to sit in a deep squat for about a minute, and I stretch out my calves by going against a wall or stretching against an uneven surface. Now there are 5 bonus points that I want to cover because these are things that I've struggled with and tend to still have issues with to this day. Now as far as joints go, I've got tendonitis in both shoulders, a cyst in my left knee, and ankles and wrists that can't really support my body weight. So I have to keep up with mobility and flexibility at all times. Now if you have wrist discomfort or feel like your wrist can't really support your body weight, then I'd invest in some wrist wraps and parallettes to alleviate some of that pressure. And to limit any potential damage in your shoulders, on push days, I recommend you warm up with some flexion and extension to get the most out of your workout. And to get rid of knee discomfort and that general feeling of weakness in my lower body, I found that strengthening my quads from a short arc position and keeping my hamstrings loose helps out a lot, not just for your knees, but your lower back as well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I post content daily to help you start your fitness journey. Now let's keep working smarter.